Welcome back to the deep dive. Ever finished a psychological thriller and think, whoa, there's so much more to unpack here? That's what we're doing today with Freida McFadden's The Housemaid.
The Housemaid. Oh, yeah, definitely a page turner for sure. But you're right. It's like layers upon layers of psychological stuff going on, and they're just waiting to be explored.
Okay, so we're going deep into the characters, the plot, those aha moments, those moments that make you question everything you thought you knew, ready to uncover some hidden layers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things about The Housemaid is how it uses those unreliable narrators, right? That's like classic psychological thriller stuff right there.
Yeah, you experience the story through Millie's eyes, but can we really trust everything we're seeing? I mean, she is a young woman just out of prison, desperate for a fresh start.
Exactly. And that desperation, it makes her vulnerable, especially when she gets that live-in job as a housemaid for this wealthy family, the Winchesters. It's almost like she's walking into a trap, you know,
Oh.
like a spider web she doesn't even see.
And speaking of spiders, let's talk about Nina Winchester, Millie's employer. She gives off some serious femme fatale vibes.
Totally. Nina's got this erratic behavior. Like one minute she's affectionate, the next she's accusing Millie of things.
Hmm.
It's like textbook psychological manipulation, keeping Millie on edge all the time, never sure where she stands.
Always walking on eggshells.
Right.
And Nina's obsession with controlling every little thing in the house, it's suffocating. Remember that bit about the contact lenses? She keeps asking Millie about them even though Millie doesn't even wear
Oh, yeah,
contacts.
that's a perfect example. It's not just about the housework. She's trying to control Millie's whole identity,
Mm.
creating this sense of unease and self-doubt.
Then you've got Andrew Winchester, Nina's husband. At first, he seems like the nice guy. Charming, friendly, total opposite of Nina. But did something feel a little off about him to you from the start?
You're picking up on those little hints that McFadden puts in there. Remember early on he compliments Millie's legs? Might seem innocent at first, but looking back, it could be a red flag. A hint of what he's really like.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like McFadden's playing with us, making us question who to trust. And about trust, the Winchesters' marriage. Not exactly the picture-perfect image they try to show, is it?
No way. Millie overhears arguments, finds Nina's meds, learns about their struggles to have a kid. It's like cracks in this perfect facade they're trying to maintain.
Like a pressure cooker about to blow. And then on top of it all, Millie's got her own secret. Her time in prison.
Imagine the weight of that secret. Millie's always looking over her shoulder, afraid of losing everything, that fear. It makes her easy to manipulate because she's constantly second-guessing herself and what's going on around her.
It's a psychological maze with no way out. And it's not just her past that's haunting her. There are these strange things happening, creating this really unsettling atmosphere. Bloody clothing. Nina's weird phone calls. What was up with that?
Those incidents make Millie and us as readers doubt everything. Is Nina just paranoid, or is there something darker going on? It keeps you guessing the whole time.
And then there's that whole thing with the PTA meeting notes. Nina accuses Millie of stealing them, but Millie doesn't remember even seeing them.
That's gaslighting, right?
100%. Gaslighting is all about making the victim question their own sanity and their memory. It's how Nina makes Millie doubt what she sees and hears.
And remember when Nina has that panic attack and accuses Millie of messing with her medication? Millie was just cleaning the bathroom.
It's all part of Nina's plan. She's making Millie look unstable and untrustworthy. It's twisted, but it's a smart strategy.
But in the middle of all this chaos, Millie starts to feel drawn to Andrew. They laugh, they talk late at night. There's definitely a connection. But is Andrew being genuine, or is this another part of Nina's game?
That's the question, isn't it? Is he being nice or is he manipulating her? Remember, we're still early in the story and McFadden's really good at keeping us guessing.
So Millie and Andrew are getting closer, but Nina is getting more and more suspicious and hostile. She makes comments about Millie's appearance and tries to turn the staff against her. It's a total power struggle. Both women want control, but Nina has the advantage. She's got the money, the power, and she knows how to use them.
And then there's Enzo, the landscaper. He's like this mysterious figure dropping warnings about Millie's safety.
Enzo's a fascinating character. He seems to know what the Winchesters are up to. His warnings add to the creepy vibe of the whole thing. But can Millie really trust him? Or is he playing for Nina's team too?
He even tells her to get out while she can. So much mystery. And just when things couldn't get more complicated, Andrew asks Nina for a separation and she just leaves.
Nina leaving changes everything. It seems like a good thing for Millie at first. No more Nina watching her every move. But you get this feeling like something even worse is coming.
Back again for more of The Housemaid. Last time we were talking about Nina leaving right. Millie and Andrew are all alone in that big house. It's like she can finally breathe again, doesn't it?
It does seem that way, yeah, yeah. No more Nina around. Millie moves into the master bedroom. It's like she's almost Mrs. Winchester now. But remember, we're talking about a thriller here. Things aren't always what they seem.
And man, do they get dark. It's like Nina leaving allowed Andrew's true colors to come out.
Exactly. The tension shifts. It's not Nina's weird behavior anymore. It's Andrew. He starts doing all these creepy things, isolating Millie, making her rely on him more and more.
And then that whole thing with the attic, being tricked up there, locked inside, the one place she felt safe, that's terrifying.
And that attic room,
Yeah.
yeah, it goes from a safe place to a prison, literally.
Yeah.
Andrew won't let her out. No food, no water, nothing. He's got complete control over her.
It's awful. And making her do those things like pulling out her hair, 100 strands, it's like he's trying to break her.
It's psychological torture. He's using her desperation, her past, to make her do what he wants.
And threatening her daughter, Cecilia. That's just evil. But what's his plan? Why do all this?
Remember how the Winchesters couldn't have kids? Andrew wants a biological child. That's his obsession. And he thinks Millie is the answer.
He wants to get her pregnant. The attic is like some twisted nursery for her.
Exactly. He was playing nice all along, but he had this whole other plan in his head. Makes you wonder about Millie again.
Right.
Can we trust what she sees?
Right. We only know what Millie knows. It's like a puzzle with missing pieces.
That's it, exactly. And then there's another twist. Millie gets rescued from the attic, but she's a mess, confused. They take her to a mental hospital, and then the accusation.
She tried to drown Cecilia. That's horrible, and she doesn't even remember what happened.
Yeah, this is where it gets really dark. It's not just manipulation anymore. It's framing Millie for something she didn't do.
And who's behind it all? Nina.
The story shifts. We see everything from Nina's point of view. It's like she's been the puppet master this whole time, setting Millie up to take the fall.
It's like that spider web again. Remember those weird things that happened? The blood, the phone calls, it was all Nina.
Every bit of it. She planted those clues, knowing people would look at Millie's past and assume the worst.
She even uses technology to track Millie, gathers evidence to make her look guilty. It's scary how well she planned this.
McFadden is so good at writing these smart and ruthless characters.
We also learn more about Millie's past, right? The things that landed her in prison. Sad, but it makes you think, did she ever have a chance?
Her past made her vulnerable, but it doesn't mean she's a bad person. Nina uses that against her. She knows people will judge Millie because of her past.
It's like she can't escape what happened, even if she tries to change. Makes you think about how we treat people who've been in prison.
Right. And we find out more about why Nina did all this. It's not just about framing Millie. She wants to be free.
That prenup kept her trapped in the marriage, and she wants Cecilia all to herself. She has to make Millie look bad to get what she wants.
She's desperate, but she's also cold and calculating. She'll hurt anyone to get what she wants, even her own husband.
That's right. What about Andrew? Was he in on this too?
This is where Enzo comes back in. He knew the Winchesters. They hurt him in the past. Nina uses that.
The Winchesters were responsible for his sister's death. She was their maid too. Nina uses that to get Enzo to help her.
It all comes together. Enzo tried to warn Millie because he knew what was going on, but he couldn't do anything.
It's like everyone's lying and using each other. So Nina wants to be free. She wants money and she wants Cecilia. Framing Millie is how she'll do it.
It's brilliant and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
It makes you think, how far would you go for freedom? Would you hurt someone else to get it?
And just when you think you figured it all out, another shocker. Andrew is dead in the attic. And it looks like Millie did it.
Right. Like she finally snapped. But remember, Nina's really good at making things look a certain way.
So who really killed Andrew? Will Millie be blamed for it?
That's what McFadden leaves us with. We'll talk about those questions in the ending in the next part.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been through a lot with the Housemaid, haven't we? All those twists and turns and psychological games. Last we saw, Andrew was dead in the attic. Looks like Millie might be taking the fall for it.
It's like the perfect setup, right? The obvious suspect, a past that makes her look guilty. But we know Nina. She's good at this.
So good. Nina shows up acting all worried, crying those fake tears. It's like she's directing a movie, making sure Millie gets blamed.
Then Millie, after everything that happened in that attic, she's not thinking straight. Scared, confused,
Yeah.
doesn't want to go back to prison.
It's hard to watch. Nina keeps saying Millie is crazy dangerous. Plays right into what the detective wants to believe.
Nina knows how to work people. She acts like the victim, uses her charm to make everyone think she's innocent, talks about Millie forgetting things, getting upset, makes her sound like she's losing it.
And the detective, he starts to believe her, especially with Millie's past. It's like Millie's trapped. No way out of Nina's lies?
But then,
Yeah.
a little bit of hope. Nina's mother-in-law, Evelyn, she sees what's really going on.
Evelyn. She was suspicious of Nina from the start. I love that.
Evelyn's smart. She knows Andrew. He liked to control people and punish them if they disobeyed. Remember, they talked about his missing teeth.
Yeah. Evelyn makes it sound like someone hurt Andrew. Like maybe Nina finally got back at him.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Evelyn doesn't say it outright, but she wants you to wonder.
Does Evelyn tell the truth? Does she help Millie?
This is where the ending gets interesting. Evelyn doesn't say anything. We don't know why. Maybe she thinks Andrew deserved it. Maybe she's trying to protect her granddaughter from the scandal.
It makes you think about what's right and wrong, doesn't it? Millie might be free from Nina, but look what happened.
She lost everything. Her job, Andrew, any chance at a normal life. All because of what happened in that house.
And Nina, she gets what she wants, out of the marriage, rich, gets to keep Cecilia, but she killed someone to get it.
It leaves you with one last question. Will Nina get away with it? Or will her lies catch up to her someday? The Housemaid makes you realize that sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones you think you know.
Wow. This deep dive has been intense. We've talked about manipulation, those unreliable narrators, and how easy it is to lie and deceive.
It shows you that you never really know what's going on beneath the surface. Everyone has secrets.
If you haven't read The Housemaid yet, definitely check it out. It'll keep you guessing until the very end. And that's it for this deep dive. See you next time.